All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this morning. I'm Tom Buller, the Executive Director of the Kansas Rural Center. Around my place here, it's starting to feel like spring, so I appreciate you taking some time today to join us for our virtual Beginning Farmer and Rancher Conference. I'm speaking to you from the homeland of the Kansas people, which was taken and given to the Shawnee and then taken again for white settlement. I like to start meetings like this by recognizing and honoring those who have stewarded the land around me throughout history. I encourage you all to consider those who have come before and stewarded the land around you and think about how to build a future in that place that centers justice. I'm going to share just a few thoughts about the Kansas Rural Center here with you all. So our organization's mission is to promote the long-term health of the land through and its people through research, education, and advocacy, really looking to advance economically viable, ecologically sound, and a socially just food and farming system. So today we're going to be focusing on that education point, but I really encourage you all to engage with us. We're always doing a lot of work around policy and some work around research, so stay in touch to find out more. One of the core values we hold as an organization is that we believe diversified farming systems, and we mean that both in a ecologically diversified sense and a socially diversified sense, hold the key to preserving and developing a food and farming future that can provide healthy food for all of us, a healthy environment, and a healthy social structure with meaningful livelihoods for Kansans. So we work hard to build that. You can find out more about us at our website, kansasruralcenter.org, which you probably found to register for this conference. But I do want to highlight that one of the key areas we focused on over the history of the Rural Center is beginning farmers. So almost 20 years ago, we were active in setting up the Growing Growers program in the Kansas City area. And since then, we've continued to work with beginning farmers. And the work we're doing here today will really help us to build that out into the future. Starting a business is complicated and farming is complicated, and trying to merge those two can be just amazingly complicated. So it's really a privilege for us to provide some resources to help beginning farmers get started. With that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Ryan Goertzen-Regier, who's going to provide some information about what's on tap for today.
Hey, thank you, Tom. Yeah, good morning. I'm Ryan Goertzen-Regier. I'm the Program and Administrative Manager here at KRC. We wrote and were granted a grant from NIFA, which is the National Institute for Food and Agriculture, to work on beginning farmer development here in Kansas. And so this conference, as well as a lot of other programming we're taking on this year, is part of that initiative. Just a brief overview, we are currently working on a curriculum to teach smaller cohorts of beginning farmers and ranchers about farm financial management and business formation to help you be successful and keep your businesses going and growing into the future. And hopefully that might turn into maybe some mentorship opportunities or apprenticeship sort of things in the future as well. But a big part of this conference is to resource beginning farmers and ranchers, provide some information that maybe you haven't heard about before, generate some creative ideas about ways you could achieve your goals, and also for us to gather information for our future programming and ways to really dig in and help beginning farmers in the state of Kansas. So this morning we have a couple sessions, one on farm finance and capital opportunities. You'll hear from Josh Ritter, the farm loan chief for Kansas FSA, about loan options they have for beginning producers. We have Paul Burdick from American Ag Credit. They are part of the farm credit system that works with a lot of farmers. And we have Jacqueline Smith from Central Grazing Company, and she's going to talk about some alternate ways of funding outside of some of these government programs and larger entities for private funding. So that should be really interesting. And the other session here at 10:15 will be on farmer health and self-care. This is something that really isn't, talked about nearly enough in agriculture, and farmers have some of the highest rates of suicide and other severe mental risks of any occupation in the United States. And so it's something we really want to highlight and talk about. So we have Keisha Counts talking about mental health and ways maybe you can buffer yourself against some of the extremes that you experience. Lucinda Stunkel is talking about some of the adaptations she needed to make on her farm when some tragedy occurred for her. And Don Teskey is here from the Kansas Farmers Union to talk about some of the farm crisis things that he experienced as a farm financial mediator back in the farm crisis in the late 70s and early 80s. Then at 11:30 to 12:45 over lunch, we'd love for you to just grab your lunch, informally join us to kind of have a talk back session about what you're experiencing as a beginning farmer rancher, or if you aren't someone who's starting out in your farming career, but you know a beginning farmer and rancher and want to join us, talk about what kind of resources or concerns you might have for them and things you'd love to see be available for them or for yourselves in the future. We really want to hear back from you directly about what you're experiencing and what you would find most helpful as we work with our own programming and also with partners to develop new resources for you and do the best we can. So that's a very chill, informal, come join us and just talk, or even just listen in if you don't like being up front and center talking in front of some people. Write it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. So and then later this afternoon at 1 to 2 p.m., we have two sessions concurrently, one about land access opportunities. And we'll hear about an exciting new land matching website from an organization called Farm Tender LLC. Kim Kreiner-Ritchie is going to join us from Lawrence to talk about the Douglas County Common Ground Incubator Farm. And Tom Bowler, our executive director, who you saw just a little bit ago, is also going to talk about some of the other land access things that we are working on here at the Kansas Rural Center. And finally, the alternate session there is marketing opportunities. And that's going to be from Janelle Dobbins from the Land of Kansas program. That's a great program we have here in the state available to producers. Scott Fellman is joining us from Juniper Hill Farms. And they also run sunflower provisions there in Lawrence. And Donna Pearson McClish from Common Ground Producers and Growers is joining us from Wichita. So there'll be some really good information there about ways that producers have become creative in forming markets for themselves or finding those niche places they can go to and find some real success there. So we've got a lot of exciting things going on, and we really appreciate you joining us this morning. I have a poll here I might just launch quick to kind of figure out who is joining us. So if you wouldn't mind identifying yourself as best as you can. Wanting to know if you are someone who is aspiring to farm or ranch. If you are a beginner, that's less than 10 years of production, according to the USDA. You're an experienced person, you're just interested, you work for a support organization, or nothing. So appreciate you filling that out to let us know kind of who we've got with us. Yeah, so a wide swath of people. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and close that just so I can showcase something here and we can get to the next sessions. We have begun a resources page for beginning farmers and ranchers in various areas of topics that you might want to learn about and hear about for your own education. So let me see if I can share that. Hopefully you can see this. So at kansasruralcenter.org, and we'll link this in the chat, we have other publications, BFR resources for beginning farmer and rancher. If you come down this page, all of these different topics will expand of different resource areas that you might want to check into, and we're constantly expanding and reworking and adding things to this as we find new and better resources for you. So this is something that we're excited to hopefully provide and hope it'll help out some people. And last but not least, I really want to mention the National Institute for Food and Agriculture. They are the generous sponsor of this grant work, and I just need to note that it's supported by the Beginning Farmer Rancher Development Program grant number 1027549 from USDA NEFA. So thanks to them again for all the support that they're giving us to do this work and hopefully support you. So With that, I think we'll close out this welcome. You hopefully should have received emails both yesterday and today with information about the next links. You can just click on the title of those presentations and join those sessions. So pick whichever one you want to go to and hop in, and we'll see you there. All sessions will be recorded, and we'll send them out if you have to miss something. We know that that's complicated by matching them up at the same time. So thanks again for joining us, and hope you have a good day.